right. Our next guest serves as Associate Teaching Professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering and has made it a focus of his to ensure that as the semiconductor industry in the U.S. grows, there will be a skilled workforce to meet its demands. Dr. Matthew Morrison, first of all, welcome to Notre Dame Day. Very happy to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, first of all, we all want to know, what are semiconductors and why is it so important to manufacture them here in the U.S.?
Semiconductors are everywhere. They're in your cell phones, they're in our laptops, they're in our vehicles. A typical vehicle nowadays might have up to 3,000 semiconductors in it. And in order to ensure that we have a steady supply of semiconductors that can meet our needs, we have to make sure that they are built and we can maintain supply chains as our customers need them. So we need a skilled workforce in order to be able to meet that, and that's one of my passions.
Yes, no, that makes sense. That's wonderful. And what factors will hold back semiconductor design and manufacturing in this country?
Frankly, people. We need more people who are capable and interested in being able to do this. And one of the things that's really important is breaking down the barriers, whether it's access to the educational materials or breaking down people's beliefs that they simply can't do it. There are a lot of people who have the talent, the capability, and the passion to do it, but they don't believe they can. So one of the things that I really want to do is help break those barriers down.
Yeah, and you are a proponent of electronic design, automation, or EDA education, and you think that it should be implemented at all levels of education in this country. Can you briefly define EDA and tell us what type of education might look like given high school and here in the U.S.?
Absolutely. So electronic design automation, EDA, is software that is used to design hardware. So being able to design semiconductors at different levels of abstraction helps somebody be able to understand the computer from the ground up, all the way from basically shooting electrons into rocks and making them think, all the way to the applications and websites that we visit in databases. So when we want to design a computer chip, we need to understand the logic that makes these processes go and be able to do them securely, safely, and reliably.
Absolutely. And I know you recently joined Apple's Racial Equity and Justice Initiative, partnering with several HBCUs to then, of course, develop EDA curriculum, which is incredible. So what is your goal with these partnerships, and can you foresee similar partnerships then with universities really all over the country?
Absolutely. So that's our goal. And it's one thing that ties in really well with Notre Dame's mission as a Catholic institution, and one of the reasons why I believe that it should be done and should be done here at Notre Dame. So being able to get these tools in people's hands so they can demonstrate their skill and their talent. Working with HBCUs, for example. So I have donated curricula and worked with professors and students at 10 historically black colleges and universities. This summer I'm going to be a visiting professor at Howard University, and we're working on it with Apple. So Apple facilitates this because they understand that, and I'm a Navy veteran myself, so we need to have an all-hands-on-deck attitude. We need everybody. Even if every single Notre Dame student graduated as a semiconductor engineer or technician, we still need 70,000 more in order to meet the workforce demands. So this gives Notre Dame students an opportunity to be leaders in this area. I have 2 students who are going to be working with me at Howard as research assistants to help implement these curricula so that way they can take this and go forward and continue on. So using the HBCUs as a template to be able to go to R2 institutions, universities, and community colleges, and at the high school level, being able to engage students at that level so they understand the joy and interest in that lifts all boats so everybody can contribute who has the talent and skill may do so.
And how important would you say? I mean, you've probably seen a lot of the work that's happening in outcomes. How important is it to be involved with HBCUs?
It's incredibly important. I want to make sure that anybody who wants to be able to do this work can. And with HBCUs, you see the talent, and you see the passion, and they just need the tools in their hands. And I know I'm sounding a little redundant, but it's really important that we get the tools in their hands, partially because EDA is an EDA tool flow, so it's kind of a pun. But also, it gives people this joy. Like when we designed the chip in class, the 50 students who took the class last year, they designed a chip and Google funded it, and every time they got their design on the chip, their eyes got really big. I love being able to help students do that and I want to do that all over the country.
Yeah, that's why you're doing this work, correct?
Absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit more about your work and your background. It's quite impressive. So prior to your academic career, I know you've served as a nuclear electronics technician. Did I have that right?
Absolutely.
In the United States Navy. So how does the experience of your career transition affect the way that you developed curriculum? And this especially considering that many workers may soon be seeking new jobs in a potentially booming industry.
Absolutely. So as a nuclear electronics technician, I learned from the ground up how the nuclear reactor worked and that you powered this fast attack submarine that I was on. So what that taught me is I transitioned from the Navy into getting my degrees at the University of South Florida and then becoming a professor here at Notre Dame, is seeing everything at different levels. Computers work at different levels, so it's hardware or software, and it teaches you how to treat people with respect at different levels, or whether it's somebody who's working at a technician level, or they're an engineer, or they're a project manager, or they're a CEO. If you learn how to design computers that way, you will also learn how to treat people with respect in that way as well. And that's something that I believe is a hallmark of a Notre Dame education.
Yeah, and I can tell you are just so passionate about the work that you do. Thank you for breaking it down for many of us, and we're really excited to see what you do next.
Well, thank you so much, and I believe that I'm glad I was able to break that down for you, and I believe that anybody who really wants to try and has the talent and works hard can do so.
Well, thank you again. I want to thank you for spending time with us. We really appreciate it. And coming up next, what is an Irish ceilidh anyway? We talked about it earlier. And later, get ready to learn about patient advocacy. We'll close out this hour with an amazing dance performance by the Vietnamese Student Association. But first, a short break.